Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Work being the same, when you do for others or for a good cause, you enjoy the work. Though the load is much heavier than doing for your routine jobs, you still enjoy it. But when the same work is done for fulfilling the egocentric desires, it saps the energy. Therefore, Geetha suggests all our activities should be done in the Yajna Bhava. Fundamental Yajna Bhava is the goal is to reach the Godhood in you. That should be the goal. That is the fundamental thing. And all other things, earning money, fulfilling desires, doing duties, all should be with this aim to discover God. Today, even good people stop with dharma, artha, kama. Their desires to fulfill, they earn money in a dharmic way, no doubt. And they fulfill also in a dharmic way. But that itself becomes an end for them. Majority of the people. I'm talking about people who are religious, who are good, traditional. Even for them, dharma, artha, kama becomes only for their own day-to-day living. It is not realized that this is a means for a higher goal. And when you realize that, you divert all your pursuits of dharma, artha, kama towards liberation from this helpless, finite living. Life becomes inspired. This type of working is called Yajna Bhava. So to lead us to that topic of Yajna Bhava, Bhagavan tries to explain to us what is our problem, why people are different, why people do not choose this, what is good for them. And in that discussion, we have come up to the point where Bhagavan says, I take birth to help the good, to punish the evil for their own good. The punishment is not like, taking revenge. They have to be put on the right track. It's a guiding factor. So I also take birth again and again I know them, I am not bound by them. Whereas you do not know and you are bound by them. So if you know the secret of Bhagavan, taking birth and not bound by them, enjoys his job, we can also emulate him. In fact, it's not emulation. The moment you discover the secret of birth and action of Bhagavan, you become Bhagavan, because all that is denying you your godhood is this unintelligent way of living through dependence on actions and reactions. So Bhagavan says, Janma karma cha me divyam. Verse number 9. Janma karma cha me divyam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma na yeti mam yeti saha arjuna. Janma karma cha me divyam. This birth and action of mine, he who knows this, tyaktva deham, having cast off this body, punarjanma na yeti, he doesn't come back to this miserable life. Mam yeti saha arjuna, he reaches me only. He reaches me only, and I am continuously taking births, Bhagavan, avatars. And you say you will not come back to this birth again. What is the difference? Coming to birth doesn't seem to be the problem, because you as Bhagavan is coming often. And you are recommending me not to come back. What is the difference? Bhagavan, when he comes as Bhagavan. He lives as Bhagavan. For him, the whole world is a sport, a leela. You and I, when we come as miserable beings, not knowing our real nature, depending on material gains and experiences, in which for an intelligent being, there can only be escapisms in the form of certain enjoyments. But really speaking, it is a miserable life. Every second, every minute, punctuated with challenges, insecurity, and you die like that. His life is not worth it. Bhagavan's life is different. Actions are different. Therefore, he doesn't mind coming anytime. What is the secret? Bhagavan cannot take birth. These are fundamentals, what I am talking. So you have to be very attentive. If you do not understand these fundamentals, the subject won't help you. Bhagavan cannot take birth, because to take birth, there has to be a place where he can express. If he is there everywhere, how can he express in a form? To express in a form, you need space. There is no space where he is not. And to do actions, again, you need space for movement. There is no space where he is not. So birth is not possible for him. Neither actions are possible for him. Then the avatar, the birth, the actions that are talked about are only appearances, not a reality. Like your dream world. You did experience the dream world. You did experience the dream world, But it was not real. Because where is the space in you for the mountains and the aeroplanes and the sea, oceans in you? Where are the friends and enemies in your dream? Though you experienced, it's not real. That is what is called Maya. Asad bhana matram. Unreal, but experienced. Asad bhana matram. So, Bhagavan is not born, appears to be born. Bhagavan doesn't work like us, appears to work. Why? Because he is seeing through our mind. He is seeing through a medium. When a single ray of light passes through a prism, it appears to be split into many colors. Similarly, this consciousness penetrating through the prism of mind, takes number of forms. It sees a God, it sees a human being, it sees in a different species. There's nothing wrong in seeing, like seeing in your dream, but you should know there are only appearances of that one reality, like the dream world is all expressions of the one waker. Bhagavan has him in the power to appear as the multitude of names and forms without really changing himself. Like the waker not changing appears to be the multifaceted dream world. If you understand this in essence, you cannot understand this in essence unless you can clearly visualize the consciousness to be different from the names and forms, and understand the way in which it expresses through the mind. So when you clearly understand this, you clearly see the consciousness. When you see the consciousness, you become the God. And therefore, you also do not come to this world as a miserable individual, the ego. Even if you come just as Bhagavan comes as an avatar. Why are we different from Bhagavan? Why should we be caught into this web of samsara? How do we redeem ourselves from this miserable state? Geetha raga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupasritaha bahavo gnana tapasa puta madbhava bhagataha. Why are you appearing miserable? Why are you suffering as an individual? Because of your mind. What type of mind suffers? A mind that has likes and dislikes. A mind that's insecure because it sees things other than itself. A mind that divides. And therefore, for its security, it runs after gaining things, procuring and preserving. And in this process, it gets attached to some, averse to some. Since the result is not in your hands, fear is always there. Fear of the unknown. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is an obstruction, anger. Thus, ignorance of the spirit, avidya. When there is At the level of the intellect becomes kama. At the level of the body, at the level of the mind becomes agitation. At the level of the body becomes the action. Same ignorance, desire, agitation, action. These agitations are your attachments, fear, and anger. How will they go? You can't sweep them. They can only go through knowledge. Any amount of sweeping the darkness will not go. You have to bring light. The snake on the rope, by beating the rope, it will not go. Bring the light and see there is no snake. Bring the light and know that you alone are there. This is called jnana. This is gained through a process of listening, sravana, reflecting, manana, and internalizing, contemplating, meditation, nididhyasana, sravana, manana, nididhyasana. All put together is called jnana tapas. So he says, bahavaha, plenty of people, jnana tapasa, through the discipline of jnana, puta, having been purified of the impurities, madbhava magataha, they have come to my being. Madbhava magataha. Okay. You are God. You can help all. And some people discover you through jnana. Some people suffer. Why is that? Can't you help all? He says, ye yatha ma prapadyamte tam tathaiva bhajamyaham mama vatmanu vartante manushyaha partha sarvashaha. See, I am electricity. You put bulb, I give light. You put heater, I give you heat. You connect me to TV, I give you the picture. You connect me to AC, I give you cool breeze. I have no attachment to the bulb or the TV or the fan or the AC or the heater. Whatever is connected, that I bless. So if somebody wants to use me for his egoistic desires, even for doing something wrong, I bless him, because he has to come out of his delusion on himself, by himself. Because delusion is acquired by him. He has to clear it up by himself. He is me. He is by choice. Get caught. He has to reverse the process. So, I ye yathama prapadyanti, whoever he may be, as they invoke me, tam tathaiva vajamyaham, I bless them in that same way, because they are me. They want that, I give them. Because they have to discover it is useless, come back. Also, from my standpoint, it's all like a dream. Even his suffering is like a dream. I have no value for it. He himself is a zero. His suffering is also a zero. He is me. I have no value for it. So I play, and he also unwittingly get caught in the play. I allow him. But whoever he may be, maybe a saint, maybe a gunda, maybe a criminal, murderer. Why do they all do whatever they do? A saint does saintly actions, a murderer murders, all of them only one goal, happiness. And that's me. So all of them choose different paths only to come to me. Mama vatmanu vartanti. They walk, follow my path. They are all traveling to reach me. They will come. Some come through the straight path, some come through the strenuous path, but they will reach me. Why people get into this miserable state? Why don't they reach you? Even after being told, this Maya is so powerful. You come to Geetha, you learn the verses, you learn the meanings. I talk. When I talk Geetha, I am jealous of others who are doing similar work and they got more popularity. They get more students. I always end up in a big number. Start at a big number, end up with 5 or 6. Whereas others, my own students are having 30, 40. All my students are having 30, 40. So comparisons, jealousies. Why? I depend on the number. Why? I depend on the number. Who made me suffer? Me. Why do I need the numbers? Oh, that's an indication you are teaching well. Why should I teach well? It's not my problem. My guru has taught me and I'm happy. Whether I teach well or not teach well, whether they get or they come or not come, why do I depend on that? I'm giving this extreme example because even here the Maya works. What about normal things like business, family, the comparisons, the hunting after, the jealousies? That's our life. How can you be happy? You study several commentaries, Sanskrit, Bhashyas. Why? All that was told in all the books is that you are a combination of truth and an appearance, name and form. Be a mind. Detach from that and discover you are the truth. That's all. You bring any book, that's all it says. For that, why you need so many bhashyas, so many this thing and all that? Whoa, why did the masters write? They wrote because you may not be able to get at one stroke to your mind to get involved as a tapas, continuously thinking it from various angles. You may bump into the truth sometime. Therefore, they have written. Also, in their period, like Sri Shankaraji, all his commentaries, the Purvapakshas are answering the Mimamsakas, Tarkikas, Sankhyas, Buddhists, etc. Because in those periods, they were there. He has to answer. You and I don't have those problems. For us, what the Guru said is enough. Why do we have to suffer? Why are you comparing with the neighbor who who has a Benz car or even a bigger car. Why do you want to compare? Is he happy because of the car or the house? Nobody can be. The more you get, the more you compare, the more you want it. Mind will never rest on acquisitions. On the contrary, Sura Mandira Tarumula Nivasa Hashaya Bhutala Majanam Vasa Sarva Parigraha Bhogat Yagaha Kasya Sukham Nakaroti Viragaha. A man in whose mind these agitations are not there, he sleeps under a tree in a temple and earth as his bed. What happiness doesn't he get? Buddha left all his kingdom. Only recently I knew his son, his brother, all followed him. They all left the kingdom. Started living on begging. Because they are searching peace. Peace is not there in these acquisitions. And then why do we go? Kanchanta karmana Krishna yajantaiha devataha. Devataha, the presiding deities, the various forces in you who bless you. Like the power in the eye to see is a devata. The power in the ear to hear is a devata. Outside, several devatas are blessing you. And courting them, you get the results immediately. Go to a hotel, eat a sumptuous dinner, top it up with a dessert and a coffee. Immediate happiness. Geetha, where do you get that? All speculation. Years, 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 you don't get anything other than a swollen head. So therefore, Bhagavan says, they are not coming because they see immediate results. Kanchanta karmanam Krishna, karmanam siddhim, yajantaiha devataha. Wanting quick, immediate, tangible results, they invoke different powers because chipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karma. In this world of human beings, results born out of action are attained quickly. Chipram. And on the contrary, I have nothing to gain by them because I am full. You are also full. I know, you don't know. Know that. Then what will happen? Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spruha iti mam yobhijanati karma bhina sabhadyate. There can be a gramophone plate. In the olden days, I don't know whether you, at least you can imagine that or not. But if there is no needle touching the plate, music won't come. Or even your light, you have to put the switch for the light to come. You should unmute for the music to come. Unless the ego is connected, you will not get the agitations, even if things are happening in you, around you. When the ego is connected to the word, I need these results. I am the doer. I must enjoy. I need recognition. You get reactions and you are caught in that. When you do it as a leela, play. What is a play? A play is one where there is no expectation of the results. You enjoy the game. No other results. Not today's professional players. But general game is you enjoy the game. The way in which you play, others play. I knew in my days when the opponent hits a good shot, you take the racket and say, good shot. Gurudev says, when God gives a good shot to you, a major problem, tell God, good shot. That's how you should see the life. And then these actions, by their nature being finite, go on moving. You don't get only sorrow, you don't get only happiness. Nobody. They come, they go. You allow them to pass on, have the variety. And then you are not depending on the results. And he who knows Bhagavan to be like that, he also becomes that. Because he who knows Bhagavan becomes Bhagavan. Namam karmani limpanti. These actions do not taint me. Name karma phale spruha. Nor do I have attachment to these results. Itimam yo vijanati karma bharna sabhajyate. He who knows me to be this, he understands the entire scheme. And therefore, he also becomes a spectator in this game and is not tainted by the actions or the results. Thus has been our ancestors living. Evam natva krutam karma purvaihi api mumukshubhihi kuru karmaitva tasmat tvam purvaihi purvataram krutam. All our ancestors were doing actions like this for the sake of others. For the sake of others, for reaching God, to reduce vasanas. This is how our ancestors living. So you also, Arjuna, do not be worried about so many deaths and all that. That's not your problem. It's Bhagavan's Leela. You just be an instrument, a pawn in his hand, and enjoy the game. This was how our ancestors were doing. Arjuna, you have to understand the entire science of action for this. How? Act, but not get caught in the wheel. He's going to say that. Before that, kim karma kama karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshami yagnatva mukshashe asubha. What is action? What is in action? Even the wise people were deluded. That karma, which is subtle, even for the wise people, if you know those secrets, you will also be free from all the evil effects of the actions. I shall tell you that. You have to learn several things. Karmano hapi bodhavyam bodhavyam cha vikarmana. Akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gati. You have to know what is action to be done, what is actions to be avoided. Nishiddha karmas or vikarma, forbidden actions. Akarma, anaction. Inaction. Anaction, inaction, both. I'll explain. Bodhavyam. Why? Gahana karmano. The path of karma is too subtle. You cannot say, I have done charities. I'm a punyatma. Somebody is the papatma because he has hurt many. No, sir. No. Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Shishupala, Dantivaktra are all the best devotees of God. To redeem them from the cycles of births and deaths, to make them the best devotees. He himself cursed them. He himself cursed them. And then They took 3 births. He took 4 avatars. For what? To bring them back to their pristine glory. There was a small correction needed in their perception. For that correction, they sent them to the earth, because earth alone you can evolve karma bhumi. In Swarga, you can enjoy the punya. In Naraka, you suffer the papa. But in earth alone, evolution can take place. So they have been sent to earth. And correction. Bhagavan takes avatar, redeems them. They were all cruel people. Even Bhagavan they insulted. Bhagavan they insulted. But if you know the entire story, they are Mahatmas. You can't judge by any action. A thief cuts your hand, a robber, it's violence. Doctor amputates your hand to protect your life. You pay him and say thank you. Somebody murders, he is punished. A soldier kills the opponent, he is rewarded. How do you know the secrets of karma? You cannot know. There was a king called Nruga. He was known for his charity. He gives thousands of cows to a Brahmin. And next time when he comes, because they are given free, they quickly spend out, because those days wealth is scattered. He sees one of the cows he gave earlier was being taken by another Brahmin. So he curses this king, you are a cheat, you will be born as a chameleon. And he was born as a chameleon. What happened? Krishna touched him with his feet and he got liberated. So the curse was for his good, because he was a good man. He was doing good. But through karma, you cannot get moksha. Through karma, you cannot get moksha. Therefore, the good man has been put in such a situation where Bhagavan touches him and he gets moksha. Therefore, karma is very difficult to understand for normal people. So I will tell you that all karmas can be divided into activity, inactivity. And in activity, karmas that should be done. Nitya karma, naimittika karma, kamya karma. Daily duties on special occasions like shraddha, etc. Kamya karma, desire from the actions through dharma. Vikarma, things to be avoided. These are all the various types of actions. You have to know them. You have to know them. Therefore, I will teach you. Yeah. Now he gives the secret of action. How you can go through the action, but be detached from it. How you can see God both in action and in inaction. How you can see yourself in action and inaction. This verse is a very, very important verse, mind-boggling, but a must. Karmani akarmayah pashyet, akarmani cha karmayah, sabuddhiman manushyesu sayuktaha Krishna karmakrit. One who sees in and through all actions, that self which does not act. One who sees all actions in that non-acting self. All actions spring forth from this self. So that which supports all actions is this non-acting self. And in this non-acting self are all the seeds of actions. Some examples. And earlier also we said that the state of actionlessness is only to indicate there is no ignorance there. There is no ignorance there. In and through all actions, you see the non-acting self. In and through all our dream world, the non-acting waker is behind it. In and through all the expressions of waves and bubbles, the non-acting water is there. Without the sun, there is no life. But sun is neither responsible for the life or death. Even though they are acting, they are not acting. I talk. The tongue talks, the mouth talks. They cannot talk without the life. But the life itself is not talking directly to you. It is only supporting. Recognize this life in and through all your actions. And then when you are not doing anything, at that time also, this life is maintaining you. Sleep, not doing anything. In sleep, it is this life force that maintains you. You are traveling. You reach Delhi through a train. You didn't do anything. You were sitting. But you reached Delhi. There was the action of journey, but you were not doing anything. And in sleep, you were not doing anything, but the life was going on. And Sri Shankara says, even to say, I am not doing anything, I don't do anything, that is also an action because it is ego. That is also an action that I don't do anything, I don't want to do anything. It's ego. So one who sees the life principle behind all actions and all non-actions is the one who feels the God that he is. And what is the benefit of this? Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dakta karmanam tamahu panditam buddha. Buddha, the wise people, call him a pandita whose all vasanas, dakta karmanam, are burnt through the knowledge. His ignorance is burnt through knowledge. And therefore, he doesn't feel he is the doer. Yasya sarve samarambhaha, all his undertakings, kama sankalpa varjitaha, free from desire and imaginations, purposes. Kama, desires. Sankalpa, goals, imaginations. All are not there. When it does actions, it is only a prayer, a naivedya to God, a service to God in the form of the word. It does duties. There is no kama, there is no sankalpa. And such a man exhausts his vasanas, doesn't gain new vasanas. Therefore, his ajnana is burnt in the fire of knowledge. Jnanagni dakta karma. And therefore, Tyaktva karma phalasangam nitya trupto nirashraya karmani abhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Free from attachment to desires, when you are satisfied in yourself, not on the external world or experiences, and not depending on them, nirashraya, even though you are acting, naiva kinchit karoti saha. He doesn't really act. Fan is giving us air. Fan is moving. Electricity is not. Sun gives us light. But does sun give you light? In his presence, light comes. Earth accommodates you. It doesn't voluntarily hold on to you. Their nature, they do certain things. Incidentally, certain things happen. Similarly, your vasanas needs expression in the outer world. And your vasanas, your prarabdha is also connected with others' prarabdha. Whatever happens through this has no value, both good and bad. Such a man who knows that whatever happens in this relative world can neither give me moksha or take away the God that I am. He has no value. Actions go through him. He is just a witness. There is no sense of I am doing this because he has no value at all. And therefore he says, karmani abhipravrittopi, even though he is involved into actions, naiva kanchit karoti saha. He doesn't do any action. Like the man sitting in the train, though he is moving, reaching Delhi, but he doesn't act at all. So also the self is in the moving medium of the body, mind, intellect. The body, mind, intellect move. He sits there peacefully. How? Nirashihi yatachittatma tekta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvan apnoti kilpisham na apnoti kilpisham. Nirashi, free from hope. Just arrest this one this thing for you. And see, next 10 days I will give you an exercise. Whenever a thought comes to you, very powerful exercise. I should do this for me to be secure, happy. I should gain this to be secure and happy. I should have not done that. If I had not done that, I would have been this. Because I didn't do, I got also caught. Like these do's and don'ts, present, past and future, not present, past and future come to you every second. This is called ego. I should have, I should have, I should have, I shouldn't have, I should not. These thoughts take away the peace that is you. They cover the ever-existing presence which can be felt in the present, not in the past and the future. The action is in the present. Results in the future will depend upon the action that you do in the present. The results of action depend upon the action that is done in the present. Focus on the present. Why worry about the future or the past? So what do you do when this mind is bothering? Write up tomorrow all these thoughts that are coming. I should have done, I didn't have done. All those thoughts, write up. Burn the paper or tear the paper and feel that with that you have left all these thoughts. And then, how do I do my work? Take another paper. Make a list. This, I have to do this, I have to do this. Go on ticking. Don't keep in the mind. Write it on the paper. These are the works. As it is done, tick off. As a new work comes, put it on the paper. Nothing in the mind. Don't take it into the mind. All that is in the mind, write in the paper, burn it and tear off. All the work that has to be done, put a list. Don't take it into the mind. Just 10 days practice. And please tell me. Please tell me. Therefore, he says, Nirashi, free from hope, desires, Yata Chittatma, a man who is striving, self-control, Tekta Sarva Parigraha, free from all the sense of possessions, Shariram Kevalam Karma, Kurvan Napnojana. He does actions merely by the mind, not the ego, by the body, not the ego. Body does duties. His ego is not there. He has no desire. He has no expectation. He has no sense of possession. Expectation, future. Sense of possession, past. Remove from you, there is no ego. Ego is past and future. Where there is no past and future, there is only the God that you are. Asha, hope, is future. Parigraha, possession, is past. Take off your mind from that. Then you become peaceful. And that peaceful mind shall experience Godhood. And therefore, he will not be cowed down by the actions or their results. He will not be bound by them. None nibadhyati. Such a man, gata sangasya muktasya, jnana avastita chetasah, yajnaya charata karma, samagram praviliyate. Gata sangasya, free from attachment, muktasya, liberated from his mind, jnana avastita chetasah, his intellect established in this knowledge. Yajnaya charata karma, all actions done in the spirit of yajna. Karma samagram praviliyate, all his vasanas, actions are all dissolved into that experience. In that experience, all these are dissolved. So now, where did he bring us? To the yajna. Do work in the yajna bhava. What is the yajna bhava? He is going to give 12 yajnas. All the yajnas, the basis is this. Conscious, mindful action in the present. Cutting off from the past and future. Breathing. Consciously breathe. That is the best meditation. Thinking. Consciously think. Not because thoughts rush to you. Thinking. Consciously think. Breathe. Eating. Consciously take the morsel and offer it to God in you through the mouth. Make it a puja. Conscious activity. In a conscious activity, the past is not there. The future is not there. And when you are doing conscious activity without the past and the future, you are in the present, you are in the presence of God. This is the basic spirit of yajna. In all yajnas, there is a fire kund. This fire kund are the various fires in you. Eyes want forms, there is a fire. Ears want sounds, there is a fire. Belly wants food, there is a fire. Jataragni. Continuously, we are pouring oblations to these fires. But we are not conscious. Now do all of them as an yajna. Offer through the eyes, forms for the God. Through the ears, sounds to the God. Through the mouth, food to the God. Recognize when you see the forms, it is the God that makes you see. Recognize when you hear the sounds, it is the God that makes you hear. This is yajna. Offering into the fire, invoking a deity for gaining a results. This is normal yajnas. That same yajna spirit, Sri Vyasa brings it to our day-to-day life, because we cannot today sit with a fire kund and do all the yajna yagas. So he says, your own actions, make them yajnas. There is the topmost yajna, the fundamental yajna, that he says in the very first yajna. This is chanted at the time of taking food, to realize that food is God. Food was given by God. The hand that lifts the food is because of God. The mouth that receives the food, it is God that takes it in. And it is digested through God. So there is nothing other than God. So he says, Brahmarpanam, Brahma Havihi, Brahmagnav, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. Brahma Karma Samadhina. Brahmarpanam, the oblation is Brahma. Brahma Havihi, the ghee and all that we pour, Havis is Brahma. Fire is Brahma. Brahmagnav, the one who offers, Brahmanahutam. To whom does it reach? Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam. It reaches only that Brahman. And thus, in and through all our actions, Brahma Karma Samadhina, in and through all our actions, feel the presence of God. Offer them all to God. Where is the ego? If there is no ego, how will the results affect you? How will the vasanas come? Vasanas come for the ego. Where you see God everywhere, where is the ego? This is the basic yajna. To understand this, Gurudev gives a lovely example. In Ganesh Chaturthi, in Bombay, it is very popular. Thousands of people are there in the temple doing bhajans and pujas and all that. At that time, a small park becomes a fire. There is stampede. Several people die. The temple, the pandal is burnt. And you wake up. When you wake up, temple was your mind. Fire was your mind. Devotees was your mind. Stampede was your mind. People died was your mind. There's nothing other than your mind. So also this whole world is nothing but God. We say sometimes world is not real, God is real. World is not real as you see, but the world is nothing other than God. Wave is not real as you see, but wave is nothing other than water. This is the topmost yajna. There are other 11 yajnas, and he concludes These yajnas are only means, they are not the end. Knowledge is the end. He will tell that also in this chapter, and we will see Thursday. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyati. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Uncle. Namaskaram.